Whether you call them ghost pours, reflection swipes, center swipes, or horizon pours, one thing we can all agree on is the results can be beautiful. Hello, welcome. Today I am going to talk you through how I created this reflection swipe. I've used quite a thin layer of pillow here, mainly because I'm getting to the end of my can of paint and I'm trying to use it sparingly. Evenly spread it over the canvas. This is a 30 by 60 centimeters canvas, by the way. Don't stress too much about getting it perfectly level, just relatively even, and make sure you coat the sides as well. Sometimes on a larger canvas, it's a good idea to prop underneath with cardboard or some such to prevent sagging and the paint pooling in the center. Work out roughly where your center line is and lay the colors in reasonably straight lines from one side of the canvas to the other. Again, it doesn't have to be perfectly precise, just eyeball it. You'll notice that I drizzle and trickle the colors across the line in different amounts and thicknesses at different points. This creates a nice variation in the colors that show up in each swipe. I'm using Shelley Art Bloom ingredients today. If you haven't taken her course, I cannot recommend it enough. I'll also list each colour as I add them. Apologies, I've forgotten the brands used for some, but if you are interested, let me know in the comments and I'll search out what they were. So add all your colours, you'll get to know the more you pour. Some can be quite dominant, like this wattle yellow, so I don't use too much or it will completely take over. Play around with the order you lay them, and notice which ones show up more. I like to practice my colours and layering on a smaller tile first so I don't waste too much paint. Once all your colours are down, add your cell activator in a line about 5 millimeters wide. With the cell activator, especially for this technique, I do try my best to get the line as straight and evenly spread as possible to make the swiping easier. I've used 2 cell activators on this piece, one laid directly over the top of the other. When laying your swiping tool down, you want to lay it as close to the center of your cell activator line as you can. This is where the straightness of the line matters. Making sure you leave enough cell activator to swipe out on the other side as well. Apply the card to the center of the line, allow it to sink down into the paint a little, then, applying gentle pressure, drag it out across the surface. You can pull out all the way to the edge, or just stop wherever you feel you want the color to end. With the swiping, you can use any tool you feel comfortable with. I use heavy plastic sheets, cut up cardboard, etc. For this piece, I am doing multiple small swipes in different sizes to create variation in the pattern. Sometimes I'll match exactly, using the same piece directly opposite on each side to create a true reflection swipe. Think cityscape lights reflecting on water, or other times I'll be more random to vary the pattern more, whatever I think will look better. Notice how low I hold the card to the canvas, the angle. The main thing I see people do wrong when learning this technique is to hold the card up too high, almost at a 90-degree angle, and this tends to drag the paint in front of the tool, scraping it off instead of skimming it over the pillow. For the most part, I try to lay the next swipe as close as possible to the previous one so I don't end up with channels where I have missed swiping. If you do end up with channels that you feel are too big and you need to fix them, you can use a small piece of card or the tip of your spatula to carefully drag out in that spot. I've tried to mark on the video where I have a few of these. Oh, I almost forgot. Make sure you clean off your swipe tool between each swipe. That's really important. If you don't, you'll drag paint from the tool across the top of your fresh colours and muddy it up. I do this on the very left shortly. Watch out for it, haha. Don't be afraid to re-swipe in areas that haven't worked properly. Not too much though. If you have a part that really went south, you can scrape off that whole section and redo it. Just add more pillow into the space, redo your colour line and CA, and off you go. Now I'm just swiping out bits, correcting any areas that I feel need fixing, etc. If you have areas with quite a solid amount of cell activator, you can grab a straw and puff down directly into those spots. Just a short, sharp puff to push into the paint below. Sorry about my head, at least my hair is relatively clean today. Like everything, it takes practice to get the swiping technique, the puffs, etc., perfected. I strongly recommend playing around with some cheap pouring paints and just practicing techniques until you get the feel of it and understand what works for you. Once you're happy with your swiping and correcting, the next step is to pick up your piece and tilt off excess paint. Now, you can spin the excess off technically, but for the horizon swipe, I want to maintain the straight lines of colour I have here, so I will stick to tilting. It's tedious. This part has been sped up well and truly, but well worth it. With this piece I didn't use a lot of pillow, so there isn't a lot of movement, but it's still something you need to do. It stretches the design out and also removes the excess paint, which is essential to prevent movement, warping and cracking. Usually I would tilt a little off each side first, bringing it back to centre each time, then up and down, keeping it as straight as possible until I am satisfied enough paint has been removed and am happy with how it looks. Bringing you down now for a close-up. Sorry about the reflection of the lights, but check out the shimmer from the piggies and 24K gold. Now we just leave it 4 odd weeks to dry and fully cure before applying resin or varnish. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions, drop a comment below. If you enjoyed this video, please like, share and subscribe and click here or here to watch more of my paint pouring videos.